Man, hey, this has been a long time. You just came back from Europe, trouncing all over Europe, man, out there killing the shows. I saw everything was sold out all the time.
Yeah, man, it's all good, man. Tell people they treat us a little differently overseas, man. Seem like you get a little more respect overseas, and people really appreciate where you come from. You know, how long you've been putting in work trying to represent whatever form of hip hop you may call your shit. You know, just to be able to go outside of the states and see that at least what I've been able to do is greatly appreciated. When you got sold out shows in different countries and people can barely speak English, but they know your motherfucking songs word for word. That's just appreciation. You feel me?
Yeah, it's appreciated for sure, man. I noticed that too when I went over to Japan. Over in Japan, you get Michael Jackson treatment. England, you get Michael Jackson treatment. Germany, you get Michael Jackson treatment. And over here, it's kind of just like, oh, what's up, man? Because everybody over here is a rapper. Everybody over here got a podcast. Everybody over here an actor. Everybody got something going on. But it's all good, though. Eiht, you a legend, man.
I think it's just different levels of, it's a little difficult, in some places. It all just depends on how people received you when it comes to over here, We got a lot of different artists, a lot of different territories and boundaries and shit like that. So a lot of that tends to play a part in your acceptance from a lot of niggas, which is unfortunate because I never got into music to try to glorify a certain aspect of where I came from or what we was banging or whatever, niggas knew that because we was doing that before we started rapping. It wasn't like a lot of trendy shit today where, it's cool to gang bang now. It's cool to,
it's a fad now.
It's cool to claim the hood and territories and shit, today shit, I could grow up in fucking Pittsburgh and say I'm from a neighborhood in Compton, That's how it works today, which is, no disrespect because a lot of niggas died and got locked away for trying to be true to the hood life. But
neighborhood.
It's a give and take. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you come from the streets and you are the artist. Like I said, I never got into it to glorify one side. I was just making music because niggas was struggling. You feel me?
Yeah.
That was Crips, Bloods, Essays, niggas in Texas, New York, Chicago, St. Louis. That's what I made music for because I looked at it like shit.
It's almost like this, which is a good segue into introducing tonight's guest. He's the program director from 1995?
97.
From 1997 on up to 2005, 2006. At one of the biggest, it was the #1 radio station in the country at his time under his regime. And I think it was Power 106 was #1 and Hot 97 was #2.
Well, I mean, both were #1 in their respective markets, but I oversaw Power 106, and then I spent a lot of time at Hot 97, and then I had 32 stations in the middle.
That's right. You were in charge of Hot 97 for a minute, too, huh?
Yep.
At a time,
after the Little Kim shooting, they called me in to calm the shit down.
And, he shouldn't need an introduction, but this is Damian Young, and he's pretty much the one that's responsible for bringing gangster rap to the rhythmic format. Because you came right in during the time the whole death row thing jumped off.
Oh, yeah.
whole Death Row thing jumped off. And that's why when I was asking Eiht if he had met you, because I just knew you knew him.
That we never met before.
I just knew him
Nice to finally meet you, sir.
All day.
because I just knew. I said at that time, Eiht was like, you know, as far as gangster rap go, Eiht was like, you know, God out here.
Oh, I definitely knew who Eiht
don't
was.
know.
It's just they never worked the records to us.
Yeah, that's Eiht, and that's maybe some of that disrespect you was talking about. I said, and I thought about it. I said, Eiht didn't have a lot of records on Power.
I didn't have a lot of records on the radio, period. You know, not that I didn't see radio as a valuable tool. I never geared my music towards radio. And that goes back to when I started rapping in the garage with the homie making tapes, you know. I always saw music as a struggle. Everybody did different shit. You get me? We had the niggas who would get you in the party and shake you up. We had the motherfuckers who, you know, had the danceable tunes and all of that. I've always considered my music the score for the neighborhood. So, you know, all those stories and all those shit that we saw, I wanted to put a sinister soundtrack to that shit. That's why, I don't know, I never thought about making club-friendly songs or songs that Epic could go, you know, pursue on the radio or whatever. I never thought of it. And then the crazy shit about it was the label never asked me to do that type of shit.
They didn't have to. You got to think
They
about
never
it.
asked me for radio-friendly songs.
Did you know how valuable you were to the Epic system? Think about this. They was going to get a gold or platinum album out of you every year and didn't have to spend no money on radio.
That's
honestly,
crazy.
I thought
That's
I was
crazy,
a,
ain't it?
honestly I was probably a write-off to Epic because I mean shit, Epic had Michael Jackson at the time. They had Pearl Jam.
Oh, yeah.
They had Sade. You know, they.
I just thought about that. They never tried to get a record with
LL
Sade?
Cool J,
I mean, Epic Records, man.
they were distributing Def Jam at the time, weren't they?
Sony,
Yeah,
Sony
Sony
was distributed, but like me at Epic, I mean, who could you like? Again, they had at the time when I signed to Epic Records, they had Michael Jackson, who had just came off of Thriller. They had Pearl Jam, who was one of the biggest motherfucking rock bands at the time, and they had Sade. So
And MC8, that's a cold
it
Ross.
was a write-off, nigga. Shit, I wasn't no significant. I didn't get no significant. Epic didn't know what to do with rap music back then. They had no idea what to do with it because, like I said, when you look at those three artists, nigga, they was selling the label. You get me? So that it was one of those things where they was like, man, we got some money to fuck off or throw away. Everybody doing this rap thing right now, so fuck it. Let's go grab us up some artists. You know,
And
but
you was with them for 10 years?
every artist that they had up until I came along, they didn't know what the fuck to do with.
And you was there for 10 years, right?
I was at Epic from, I want to say about 91, 92 till about 97.
See, and I came in at 97.
Yeah, you came in 97, so yeah.
I left Epic right at the, like you said, the height of Death Row and whatever. But I left Epic because everybody got fired. They brought in a gang of new motherfuckers. I think they had brought in Ron Sweeney and a couple of motherfuckers, and they didn't know what they was doing beforehand. So I just decided to say fuck it and did my last record, and that was it.
Yeah, before we go into this conversation with my man Damizza, because we got a lot to talk about, bro. I gotta, we gotta dig in the trash can a little bit and talk about the news, the goings on, and the musings of what's going on in the internet land right now. you know, when I was on my way up here, my phone was blowing up. People was telling me, man, did you see the stuff with Diddy? You know, did you see the stuff that's going on with Diddy, man? And I said, wow, now they don't drug Meek Mill's all up in this mess, man. Wow. And talking about that him, Usher, and they got a thing to where some dude is suing them for molesting them. If I'm not mistaken, and it's just like, man.
Yeah, I have no idea what's
I know you don't do it.
I try to
I believe a motherfucker is innocent until proven guilty. So I'm just
and I'm with all of that shit too, but I've learned right now to just stay the fuck off my phone when it comes to looking for, you know, because man, when I was overseas, man, it's just
they don't do all that over there, do they?
Motherfuckers wasn't on their phone and worried about Instagram and social media and all that shit. And it just, you know, I got time to not have to fuck with it because everybody knew I was overseas on tour. So it's just crazy how every time you can go on your phone, it's just some shit. Yeah. That's what kind of fucked me up and wore me down because it's just like everybody is on some shit, man. Just like, and it, like no bullshit. Like everybody is on some shit to where I be trying to look for a little sense of normalcy with motherfuckers. Like, is a nigga just gonna be normal today? You know, can a nigga wake up today and not see this nigga talk about this nigga or this nigga expose this nigga or this done happen or that like
man, I'm gonna tell you the saddest part about it, man. Like the whole thing with Benzino, you had people over there.
You
laughing.
see what I'm saying?
Listen,
it's just shit, man. It's just
check this out,
it's
though,
just a gang of shit.
What I'm gonna say though is this, right? The stuff with Benzino, this grown man is on there crying, and people think this is a joke. I'm like, man, a lot of these dudes got mental stuff going on, man. They need some help. Like my man Benzino. Shout out to Benzino. He a friend of the show. He's been on here before. You know, you had Benzino. You had the stuff with Kodak.
I talked to Benzino not even like maybe a month ago.
He cool dude.
Like, you know, so that I mean, not like whatever, but it's just like. It's just a gang of shit, man. And I don't know, like, the end game, is it for money? Is it for popularity? Is it to boost your status?
You know what I think though, bro? Me and you, now, we come in here and we do this show faithfully. Every week. You've always shown up, unless it's just like an act of God. That's the only way we ain't here, right?
Right.
We just had us some time off because we always take time off from the last season. This season, the people, you know, hitting me up online. When the show coming back, it's like, damn, I'm not a machine. I'm an actual human being. Me and Eiht are human beings. We need a break sometimes.
Hell yeah. You know, shit. I was going to come in last week. I was fresh off the plane.
And
I was going to come in, but, you know, you got to take a little time.
Yeah, you know, because I was on my deathbed last week, dog. I was sick as a dog, you know. So it's like you look at this, and this is what I want to go back to segue into this. Today, in today's market, like we were talking about at the beginning of the show, prior to the show starting, everybody has a podcast nowadays.
It's all for clicks.
Yeah, everybody was starting to rap around 97. Rapping to me felt like a thing that was special. Everybody didn't try to do it back in the day. You know, it wasn't a million people rapping. But then once people saw that there was some monetary value in becoming a rapper, you had everybody wanted to become a rapper. I ain't gonna say an MC because an MC is MC. You was MC Eiht. Hence your name, MC Eiht. You know, you were MC, you were a storyteller.
Yeah, we took pride in creating stories, you know, from youth life or or just from what the shit we seen as kids, because shit was valued differently when I grew up, you know, 5, 6, 7 years old. Times were different. Was it gang banging and shit? Yeah. Was it niggas selling dope and going to jail and shit? Yeah, but man, these cameras and these phones and these social media stages, man, have like you said, like it used to be like, nigga, I knew I wasn't finna be no basketball player. You get me? Mm-hmm. But now you can't do that. You feel me? Now today, you got 1,000 motherfuckers finna sign their kids up for basketball, knowing damn well niggas shouldn't be playing basketball.
And they're doing it for the wrong reasons.
You get me? Mm-hmm. Fuck it. All you gotta do is put in a motherfucking laptop, a couple of little speakers, and a microphone in the corner in your kitchen. Everybody's a rapper now. You get me? Fuck it. I'm gonna find a beat program on fucking internet and start doing some 1-2-1-2 beats. Everybody a producer now. Like I knew what position to play. I knew I could MC, but nigga, I ain't finna get up there and try to DJ just because we got speakers here and I mean turntables and shit. And nigga, fuck that. I'm DJ Eiht now. Nigga, I couldn't motherfucking scratch a record or transform or do none of that shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna fake the funk to do, you get me? I'm gonna play my position. Today, motherfuckers don't know that. Like I tell you every time we get on here, some people today have a problem with being just normal.
Being normal.
I got a problem with that. I fuck that. I can't be, nigga, I'm finna be the next this, next that, or next that. When you could just be your motherfucking self.
And
period.
this man, when he came in, he pretty much, because you got to remember, prior to Mr. Remember we was clowning, we was having fun with the lines. We'll talk about the dun, 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 dun. Everything sounded like a Planet Rock beat.
Everything was techno for us.
Everything was techno. And this man came in, and it started getting a little gangster. So we gonna go from the beginning, Miz. But I gotta talk, cause power was such a big part of your life, right? When did you come in and decide it was time to shake shit up?
The second I walked in the door.
What did you see going on? Because LA had, Eiht had his own theory about LA radio. He said, man, it was whack.
Well, I mean, it was wide open. Like I was always somebody who just loved music. So I loved rap music. So I loved Dr. Dre, The Chronic. I loved, Snoop Dogg. I loved all of Eazy-E. I drive up and listen to Julio G and K-Day, and Tony G and the Mixmasters and, all Battle Cat and all of those guys. Mm-hmm. And, when I got there, that was my goal, was to emulate K-Day, but bring it back on that level and make hip hop the #1 format in the world. Because they just said we couldn't do that. So I was just like, fuck you, of course we could. Because if you go anywhere, you'd hear rap in the streets. Like, for instance, when I first played Ain't No Fun in Morning Drive, people had a coronary. You know what I mean? The management freaked out. So I literally had to put it in our research to show them that it would test more than our current records.
And that was a light record to me. Even though they subject matter, Ain't No Fun if the homies can't have none.
Yeah.
But that was a fun record. That's like a record that should have been on the radio to me.
Well, but the thing was, it wasn't really censorable. You know what I mean? Like, even when you muted the stuff, you knew what they were saying.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So, I had some barriers to overcome, but I proved them each time. And like, for instance, when I put Dre and Snoop together for 2001, it wasn't for 2001. It was because I wanted to see the show. So we did it in Hawaii and did a whole contest around it so that literally I could see the show.
That's dope, man. So you know what I mean? So you just pretty much got to have your own party, like, so you said, I'm gonna do this. So you just like you DJ.
Power was my personality. Sorry to interrupt.
It's all good.
Yep.
So you just like you programming your own playlist on the iPhone right now. You said, I want to see this and this. Let's put this together.
If you let the ultimate rap fan into a building and said, you have a transmitter, that's what it was.
Gangster Chronicles, we gon' tell you how it goes. If I lie, my nose will grow like Pinocchio. We gon' tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. Gangster Chronicles, this is not your average show.